Just like a friend from back home.
This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio.
PHLV Radio.
Hey you guys, happy Thursday! Welcome to another episode of TMI with Maiekayla, and Maiekayla is back. We have a special guest. I want to introduce you guys. You guys already know her actually. Our Bria, Miss Nevada. Miss Nevada's in the room.
Hey y'all, I'm so happy to be, I said y'all like I was country. Hello everyone, I'm so grateful and honored and blessed to be here. I just want to thank you, Maiekayla, for inviting me on for your show today. I look forward to the topics that we're going to get into in our conversations, because you never know what's going to happen with us.
Oh my gosh, our conversations are like the most realist conversations. Like I could vouch for that. Like out of all the people in my life, girl, I'm very grateful for you. You guys, it's also her birthday. Happy birthday, girl.
Thank you.
So we are going to talk about some TMI today. So actually, Abria and I, we were both involved in pageantry, and as you can see, her sash, but she actually has an event that she's planning in October, right?
Yes.
What's going on with that?
So my partner, Azalea Clayton, we have an event. It's a showcase and a mixer, and our overall goal is to provide a platform for business, entrepreneurs, and creatives just to come together and be able to represent themselves for who they are, with not having a boundary of limitation of to represent who they are. So we're excited about that. It's called Rebirth.
Yes.
You can see us and tune in at the Ahern Hotel,
yes,
October 19th, and the show is at 5:30. So I'm really excited for that.
I'm really excited. It's so crazy because actually Abria and I talked about some crazy stuff when it comes to like entertainment and being an entrepreneur, being self-employed, and stuff like that. How easy it is. Oh, and being in the pageant, being in a pageant and getting into modeling and stuff, and just seeing how easy it is for an outlet for sex trafficking. So this was a conversation we were actually talking about a few. I want to say maybe a few months ago, maybe 2 months ago.
Yeah, even like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, man.
A month ago and 2 weeks ago.
And we talk about it today. So what's crazy is because we were talking about it, and just a few days after, I went to go watch that one movie, Sound of Freedom. So I was told that it was a sex trafficking movie, but I didn't know how the layout of the movie was going to be. So a little spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, I'm sorry, I'm going to spoil it for you. So it's so crazy because the movie, how it was laid out, it was just exactly what we were talking about. Basically, there is this beauty queen. I was like, oh my gosh, a beauty queen? You guys really made a sex trafficking movie with a beauty queen. So anyways, this beauty queen, I guess she was like the agent or whatever, and she was getting kids into modeling, into entertainment, becoming a singer, becoming an actor. So anyways, I think they do some type of casting call or something. So they go into this room, and it looks professional, and she ends up like taking photos of these kids. So there's this one family, the dad brought his son and daughter to the room where they were expected to take like portfolio photos and stuff like that. And the girl ended up telling the dad, oh, come later on, no parents allowed, something like that. So the dad left. He came back at night. The room was empty, and all the kids were gone. So there's like like all the kids were gone, and then they got into sex trafficking. And what's so crazy, because I remember Abria and I, we were talking about just like how easy it is to fall into that.
Yeah.
I don't know, you want to hop more into it?
Yeah, that was interesting how they put that in the movie, because, you know, I feel like in other aspects, you see like a kidnapping,
Yeah.
like just other avenues. And it's so true, because you're this young star or this passionate person and you have a dream. And, you know, we always hear all the time, whether if it's business, talent, even in a sport, that if you put in the hard work, you believe in it, and you're willing to do whatever it takes, it will happen. And that's a healthy way of thinking. But at the same time, when do we like put a boundary on doing whatever it takes? Because what if that whatever it takes not only go against morality of your character and what you were raised, but put yourself into danger?
Yeah,
So
agree.
how you put that on there. So if you're a child star, you're going into these environments, what's the mindset to kind of help you or protect you, like in this industry, knowing that there's a possibility a casting call might not be a casting call?
Yes. That is, you put that into perfect words, because I think for me, when I think I've been doing this, like being self-employed or getting into entertainment for, I think about maybe 2 years.
Okay.
I don't really remember, but so it's been 2 years, and I remember like me meeting all these new people, and they're all business owners, and you hear their reputation, other business owners that you listen to thinking they're the boss and stuff. They have their own idea about these people, and then you automatically think, oh, this business owner is trustworthy or stuff like that, and then you start, or oh, this is a pageant coach, or this is a modeling agency, and you think that it's legit, and then you find these people on social media and it looks legit. Oh, they have a good amount of following. Oh, they're verified, like stuff like that. It's so easy to go around with all of this.
Yes.
Like, I can't express how many times I have met so many phonies in all of this. And like, you would think they're legit because you trust. This industry is very different, because when you're working at a regular job and whatever, you have HR to cover you. Right? This person, I have sexual harassment on them, whatever, and then you could go to HR, file a report. At least you're covered. You can go to like, they may have security. They have some type of system in place for you to be like covered, protected, and safe. But then, like, I feel like for me, my experience is, I feel like I meet business owners and like people in public figures so much, like also on like a personal level too.
Yeah.
It's like you don't really know who you're working with, you know what I'm saying? Because also money talks. So
Yeah.
so like there's so many loopholes for these entrepreneurs and all of these agencies to get away with things. Like, some people looks legit because they go to all of these events and stuff, and they're on magazines and they're on the radio or whatever, but people, maybe they just want you because you've been around, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It doesn't mean you're legit. It just means that you've been around and you found yourself around.
Yeah.
So you look a little more established.
I like the 2 points that you had mentioned. First one, talking about like, you think that they're verified, like the blue check mark, the followers. It kind of goes into this aspect that the blue check mark, the followers, really in a sense, it helps like bringing in content and views on your social media and helping that. But at the end of the day, like, you could just pay for it.
Yes.
So then it goes
See, that's the
into-
thing. You guys don't know. You could just pay for it. You know that?
You can. And it goes, and then I think, like, you really have to do more research, because it's like, you have to go and explore and to see, like, okay, do this person character follows everything that they represent, or is this a facade? And it sucks to say, because how you were talking about the HR and other companies, you have this like system set up to go for protection. But it's like, in the entertainment industry, you will think like your agency or your management will be that, but at the same time, they could take advantage and exploit you
Yes.
too, because all going back to like money talks or like look the other way or go
Yes.
here. So it's, I guess the safe way is to make sure you have credibility people who
Yes.
have the same standard as you in the industry and out the industry, to make sure that you're staying on the right path and that you're taking on gigs and opportunities with the
Correct.
best intent, who have your best intention.
Correct. One thing that I loved with my parents and my whole family, because in the beginning, well, they're still like this, but I think I was very grateful in the beginning because I'm so new to everything and I don't want to just trust anybody, but then at the same time, it's like, Maiekayla, grab the opportunity, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think so I love that out of all people that I know, that you and I are both speaking about this topic, because I ain't gonna lie, you and I do see that we're pretty solid about certain things, and we're pretty aware of certain stuff.
Yeah.
But one thing that I'm grateful for is because, like, it may sound nice, like, oh, well, Maiekayla, you get to meet these famous people, just go to the event, you know, or like, oh, just hang out with them, and then if they end up, like, these big people ends up taking you out to a party, like, it's okay, Maiekayla, it's just all business, and that's like a easy hole for you to fall into and like screw up your life, you know. But what I'm grateful for is because there's a lot of opportunities that were given to me, and I felt like there were certain things that in my values that would have been like tested. One thing that I'm grateful for is that my parents and my family, they were just more of like, Maiekayla, I don't care who it is, I don't care how much you get paid, like, at the end of the day, you know, we have your back, so you don't have to do this gig, you don't have to do
that's
this
good.
deal. So I'm very grateful to have my family who like assured me, like, Maiekayla, it's okay, you don't gotta take this. But like, I guess like this is a heavy topic, not just even just with sex trafficking, but I guess like even being like an object, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Because the reason I'm saying this, and I ain't trying to call anybody out, I'm just saying, like, throughout the past 3 years, I don't know how long I've been doing this, like, I ain't gonna lie, I've been hit on by people with platforms. I have been hit on by entertainers, by politicians, by people in the government. And at the end of the day, people are just people, so I'm not going
Right.
to put that on anybody. But it's just like an easy target, like, or easy hole. Like, you would think that you're doing things out of like business, and then things becomes
Yeah.
personal, and then it's like, oh snap, who can I really trust? You know, at the end of the day, people are just people, whether they have a position or not.
Right.
You know, the position and status is just really just a role of responsibilities that you have, you know. So what I mean by that is that, you know, there will be people that you will meet who's in a position, but they still have their own temptations. They're
Right.
still humans at the end of the day. They're
Yes.
still people. They like what they like, you know. But I guess the reason I'm saying this is to be very mindful when you guys get into all of this, because at the end of the day, you are your portfolio.
Yes.
So most of the time, I feel like not just me, everybody who's in this, it's more of like they're finding their own
Like inner
gigs
battles
and
yeah.
products and sales and partnerships and collaborations. It's not like, oh, well, my boss gave this to me.
and
You
said
are
it.
the boss. You
Yeah.
figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Don't mean that you're always correct. I'm just saying you got to figure out your own stuff of income and opportunities. I hope that all made sense.
It did, and I like the examples that you gave. And even though it's probably like tricky, because you're like, because you're not throwing anything out there, but just titles and positions in the sense of like how you said, it could be government, it could be a store owner, different. It doesn't matter the platform or the entity itself. It's just you do have to be mindful, because I think sometimes we have an expectation of of status of where people are, and because we see them as a high standard, we give them that credibility.
Yes.
And going back to what you're saying, you know, people are just people, and they have their own thing that they got to work out internally and stuff, and we can't really put all that pressure. But at the same time, it's just like, also, it all goes into the mindset, like, are you abusing this power that you're in? Because if you're in a position of power, you shouldn't use that authority to exploit others, because you see it as a number, as a product, or something that you want or desire, which it's a lot to navigate. I think a lot of people think the entertainment, they glamorize it, and I want to know your thoughts about this too. Like, there's such a glamorized and fascination, and it's always this like claiming how to do enough, but like, when you get into this industry, you really can't have like weak skin. You have to be tough.
100%.
So like, what's your thoughts on that? And then too, with that mentality, tying back to how you brought up the movie Sound of Freedom, because I haven't seen it. So can you elaborate even? Sorry guys for the spoilers. I want to know, like, that scene that you were talking about, like,
it reminded me of me for a second. I'm not saying that I'm a pimp or something. I'm just saying it reminded me of me, of like how careful I have to be when getting girls involved in like gigs and stuff. You know, it's just like, and I thought about this. Somebody asked me for models, right? And this is somebody I've done business with, but it's their friend that's asking. And I thought about it. I could really make money out of this. But then at the same time, I was like, what if this person isn't trustworthy? And I send these girls to a place and they trust me already. You know what I'm saying? So that was something that I was like, damn, I don't know. I don't freaking know. And it's like, so for me, I get so comfortable with the people I'm working with because I've done so much business with them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like I'm setting these girls up to be a model for some guy I don't even know. And even if I did know them, there's just some things I had to think about, like, what if this guy starts flirting with the girls and he brings the rest of his other guys? Like, there's just so much to it, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, damn, that movie reminded me of me, but don't get me wrong, like, I have good intentions,
Of course,
but it's just yeah. Let me clarify, but it's just like, wow, like, I could really be not just a target, but I could also really be leading the girls to the wrong people, wrong business, and I think at the beginning I almost did that. There was a radio host guy. He said in the beginning he was gonna have like paid models. Do I have any models? And then and I was told by people who were my mentors to trust this guy because we did business with him. And then next thing you know, he's like, oh well, actually we can't really give any money, but we have different compensation. I mean, you're gonna be hanging out with a bunch of football players from the NFL, and you know, all you guys have to do is just be cute, you know, be friendly, you know what we like in models. So now it opens up this other space, a mindset of like, oh, how you're supposed to be and stuff, and then it gets you it brings out like this other character of you, like, oh, the hot flirtatious model, the young little vulnerable girl who, like, so that's where the mess comes in. I know you asked a question. I forgot what the question was.
It's okay, but you actually put up a point because you triggered another thought. Because it was just like how you said the young model, and this might be heavy, you know, you can censor me if you want.
Go for it.
But what you brought, so then let's say, like, if an incident happened to that model, then it would be talked about, well, look how she was dressed. She was being flirty. But she was just doing her job.
Yes,
so
there's
then
that
where do
too.
those lines blur? So then it's just like, it's still, there's no safe space. So how do you think? And not even just with girls. I feel like even too with men, depending on, because the same thing can even happen with them depending on like the industry. Their shirts always got to be off. The muscles, like, let me just touch all over like their like, you know, the hot bartender. Ooh, come over here. Like, it's just, there's these things, and it's like mentally you're like, oh, when I'm going into this workplace, I gotta realize like I'm an object. How do you think, like, outside of that, the mental is affected?
Oh, 100%. Okay. So this is actually something was tested on me with my values, because I think there's a time where I was trying to convince myself, like, Maiekayla, it's cool, girl. Go ahead, do the gigs. Go ahead, girl, do the photo shoots,
money.
right? And even I guess not even just the money, just like Maiekayla, you know, if you are determined, do it. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's a part of me with that type of mindset, but then it started like conflicting. And when I found out, I was like, no, Maiekayla, this is incorrect. Is when I started, like, if I had to convince myself, then that was the issue. That was like already like, Maiekayla, that's a red flag, you know, cut it off. It's messing with your values. Now you're trying to convince yourself otherwise that this is correct. I think like in the beginning, like, oh, it's okay. It's just business. It's fine. You could go ahead, take the photos. You could go ahead, stand up for this mission statement. You could stand up for this business that you don't even agree with, stuff like that. It is difficult because it's like, where do you put your morals? Where do you draw the line for personal and business? So that is a difficulty, but it did mess with me. So I don't really talk about this. I think this is the first time I'm actually gonna say it. I actually removed my bikini photos off of Instagram. So I did win. Thanks, girl. I did win second place for a bikini contest.
Oh, nice.
And don't get me wrong, I was feeling myself. I was like, yes, girl. But I did take it off just because, like, it started putting me in a mindset, like you know, that young party girl and stuff.
It's being sexualized.
Yeah, and then I was like, I don't want that, because I think during that time too, I was talking to this guy, and like we hit it off. Everything was perfect, but I think there is a part of him that was like, I think he questioned my trust a little bit, you know. And I know I'm a trustworthy, loyal, faithful type of chick, but then I was like, dang, I don't want him like thinking anything too. And on top of that, I think a part of me was also like, I don't want my body being accessed to so many people like that, you know. It's like I'm doing voluntarily. What the hell is this? You know what I'm saying? Even like somebody paid me and stuff, you know. But with that being said too, what's crazy is after that bikini contest, I ended up going to California on vacation, like maybe a week, 2 weeks. Where was I? I think I was in Reno or somewhere up there, okay? And I remember posting that I was at the beach, but I didn't take off my clothes. I just, I had my bathing suit underneath, but I just posted with a dress on. And this was like a week after the contest, right?
Okay.
So everybody already see me in a bikini. So the day or that time that I was posting, they're all like, why don't you take off your dress, you know? So you know how you were saying, like, even on guys, like, if they're a model, like, it's already expected that the girls thinks it's fine for them to fill up on them.
Yeah.
Like, just because I did the bikini contest and stuff and I posted my photos, you guys think it was okay that my body should have just been out for everybody?
Right.
So that's why when you ask that question, like, does it mess with your values? Most definitely it does. I feel like it messed with my mindset. Because also the fact that I was able to voluntarily just like, here's my photo or whatever. And so we did like a photo shoot at this pool. I'm not gonna say the place, but you know what I'm talking about with the girls.
Yeah.
And then I was hindered too because we did get like freebies if we were to do like photos and do some content work. And even though I felt so poppin' and I was getting all the compliments and stuff, I did post it. But then even though management asked me to like post and send photos and stuff, understand, I still removed it, you guys. Like, I put it on, even though I got a bunch of likes, you guys. I got a bunch of likes. Like, it really, like, I'm telling you, I was tested, you know?
You know, it's so funny that's funny that you said that, because I think if I did show like posts with me in my swimsuit, it was the story. It was like, that's that.
Yeah.
And then if it was a post, it was just like in the water, so you really can't see, but you see, because then it's like, it's not necessarily uncomfortability, and it's like at the same time it's like we're trying to show realness and rawness and embrace your skin regardless, you know, race, skin, body type. But at the same time, it's like I'm showing this intimate part of myself, and then people might expect this of me all the time.
Yes.
Relating to what you were saying with your post at the beach, everyone was like, why are you in the dress? Take it off. It's like, just because you saw me in a bikini in this post, why do I have to be in a bikini in this post? So it's just like, and it does affect you mentally.
I don't owe any of you guys anything. I do my own shit the way I want to do it. You know?
Right.
So it's so crazy. So there's something with that. So we were talking okay, this is what I was gonna say. So, girl, I knew this was gonna be a long, raw talk. So what I was gonna say is, ladies, like when you are dating, or actually, it's not even just in dating. This is like with anybody. People will take advantage of you depending on how far you will allow them to take advantage of you, right?
Yes.
So, for example, if you are like a giggly, wiggly, jiggly type of girl, and you're like, they're gonna keep doing whatever they're doing, even if you feel uncomfortable, because you don't even respect yourself to put your foot down to stop the giggle. Okay, because I bet you, right, if these guys were, and I've tested this with the guys, like these entrepreneurs, these guys, like there's this one guy, he felt up behind my leg, right? I felt uncomfortable, and he always thought it was cool that he gave me a hug. So what I do, when he's around, I'm like, he put an arm like that. I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I start putting boundaries. I start making him feel uncomfortable with trying to even touch me or hug me, you know what I'm saying? And now he knows his place. So now when he comes around, he don't even try to do that. He respects me, and you know what I'm saying? So people will only respect you depending on how much you respect yourself. I'm not saying be a little bitch, get all feisty, like, oh, do you know who I am? Don't touch me.
Right.
You want me to call the cops on you? You don't gotta be all like that. Like, just be stern on your stuff, you know?
Yes.
And don't get me wrong, it is hard because sometimes you don't want it to be awkward. You don't want it to be weird. You don't want to be like all feisty, like, oh no, they're not gonna like me anymore. Who freaking cares?
Right.
You know?
Right.
I
was gonna
girl,
say,
I'm
you worked
dehydrated.
up. Now you're like, yes.
I'm dehydrated.
But no, you're 100% right. Have those boundaries. Teach people how to treat you, especially here. And if they don't like you, who cares? Because even though that opportunity, I literally was just telling someone this today. It's okay to say no. Not every great opportunity is meant for you. The ones that are meant for you is going to align with everything that you believe, what you envision, and you won't have to break your boundary to do that. Like, why are we living on the edge? Like, literally, like, on the edge, like, walking on the edge. And I heard someone, like, talk about this. It was such a good message. But a lot of times we will push our boundary, and then we're on the edge, and then we fall off. And this is how we get into mental depression or have breakdowns, because we allow our boundaries to be crossed. But it's like, no, we need to stand more firm in our boundaries, especially in a workplace where our professional place that can blur between personal and professional. Like, and also too, these people, like, I don't mean to just be out here clowning, but for y'all who be acting like this, y'all need to understand the different hats that people wear. You need to understand when this person is in their personal setting and then when they're in this business setting, and respect that. So there just won't be no misunderstanding. There will be clarity there. Just because you're familiar with someone and you want to work with them professionally doesn't mean you could just be ha 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 do 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 do. Respect them as a professional person.
Yes. See, that's what I love too. Even though Abria and I are friends, right? This girl even asked me, Maiekayla, is it okay if I could wear my sash? I said, yeah, girl, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, she respects me as a business person, right? And then the respect as a friend is also is there too, but the respect is different. You know what I'm saying? We know how to like cater to both. But I am gonna say though, because you did say, like, know the line, like, with professionalism and business. So did I say professionalism and business? Professional and personal, right? So yes, that's why it's also difficult too, because I remember we went out one day and one of our friends ended up being there, and we were talking about dating and stuff, right?
Yes.
There's something that you guys told me, and I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. So you guys said, Maiekayla, when you go on dates, don't treat it as a business meeting. I was like, you're freaking right. Oh my gosh. I thought about all of the freaking guys that I spoke to where it was, I treated it as a business meeting. So with that being said, I didn't know. I thought it was a business meeting, but I didn't realize it was a freaking date. So where I'm going with this, I think it's important. Like, let's make it clear. What is the agenda here, right? So when we're going out, like we have meetings where we're like, okay, let's talk about this event. Let's finalize this. And then, after the agenda has been clean, clear, and fixed, then do whatever you want, right? And then if you go into like a personal, fun, social event, that's the thing too. You gotta be careful because some of these people, they be turning their social life into a networking thing, and then sometimes they turn networking into their social life. So you have to figure out. I think that's also important. A strong individual, I would say a strong woman. No, I think a strong individual.
Yes.
Whether you a man or a female, know the agenda when you're going into a place.
Right.
Right?
Yes, and learn how to adapt in the sense of not adapting and compromising. You know why you showed up and to do that. And if you see that switched, then okay, you have fun. But if you know, like, okay, this is not your thing and what you came here for and you don't want to be here, say your goodbyes. Give your honor where honor is due and thanks and just dip out.
Yes. So I'm going to even say these for guys, right? I met so many guys and, oh, girl. I met so many guys, even married guys, right? They be like flirtatious with me and stuff, and sometimes I wonder, like, is this I don't know what your intentions are right here. But the reason I'm saying that is because I've met so many guys who became flirtatious with me, and then later on I found out they with a girl. I didn't know that, but anyways, I found out later, like, these guys would give the excuse that, oh, it's just business, until the girl that you're flirting with says, oh, I'm into you. Then you're like, oh, okay, so my flirting worked. Y'all are just saying it's just business as another ultimatum, so you don't look stupid when things turn around on you.
And to tie it back to with, like, how you started it with the Sound of Freedom and sex trafficking, they're like, it's just business. And it's like the person becomes like the product, the item, like, oh, you're here, like, come here, recruit. Well, I'm just doing business, and I end up having pleasure of it. But it's like your intention was to blur the lines to begin with.
Yes, blur the lines.
So it's like we gotta be more aware of that.
So I think we could sit here and complain all day. Do we have tips?
Yes,
have tips,
we do.
girl?
And I was like, I don't think we're complaining. We're just bringing awareness.
I could go on and on, girl. You know all the people I'm talking about right now. So.
Yeah, I would say tips. Personally, like, what helped me coming into this industry from a different perspective, and even though, like, I came to the game a little late, even though people might still be thinking like I'm young. I mean, I am, but
she just turned. No,
go ahead. Okay, I just turned 30.
Oh yeah, girl, you let them
Sunday.
know.
Yes.
Ooh.
I would just say a big tip is that surround yourself with people who knows your vision and who you are and respect your standards and boundaries. And me personally, like, I would say what helped me is just like my relationship with God. And I feel like he has helped me with having discernment. But I would say trust your gut. If it doesn't feel right, find a way to get out.
Yes. Oh, girl, I agree. And you said something, a point that you said, surround yourself with people who basically has the same goals and values as you, right? The reason I say that, and somebody who respects your goals, because I think what I realized when I got into everything that I was getting into, I was really dependent on the people, on, I guess, like the owners. I was dependent on the people who's been in the industry, that what they say, I went with it. And then over time I'm like, no, this isn't sitting right, you know what I'm saying? It's not sitting right here. So then I was like, I think that's when I'm telling you, the biggest like power that you have is your voice. The one time that you become voiceless, I don't even care how strong you are, you're powerless at that point. The reason I'm saying that is because, amen, girl, put that in the caption. I was like, the reason I'm saying that is because I guess I started working with people in the beginning where they had their own vision of what success was. in general, and they had their own vision of what success was for me. So, for example,
good.
I got singing gigs, or I was starting, I was starting to get singing gigs, and people thought that, and then they start putting me in some type of competition, like, oh, Maiekayla's, her goal is to get all of these singing gigs. Like, what if I don't want to perform for these people? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or like, oh, Maiekayla, you have more followers. Like, what if I don't freaking care about these followers? You know what I'm saying? Or, Maiekayla, you get to work with these big names, and I'm like, I think they're assholes. Like, I think they're snobby. I think they're disrespectful. What if I don't want that same success that you guys want? You know what I mean? And I remember, like, bringing up my walk with God, because I'm telling you, like, I felt like a whole heaviness, and I felt like, I guess, like, the more that I was in, like, the light of everything, I kind of felt like, oh, I'm being more silent, if that made sense. And God didn't give me, in my own personal, like, what I'm thinking behind the scenes is, like, God didn't bring me into these positions so I could be a puppet, or so I could have my mouth shut. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling you, so when I put my foot down and I was like, you know what, no, I don't. And it does come to a point, like, people are just people. Even the people who are above you, they have, like, their own lessons to learn. Secondly, they have their own weaknesses. Thirdly, they have their own insecurities. And I don't want to be like, oh, that person's insecure. I'm not going to be like that, because at the end of the day, we're all just here trying to grow.
Right.
So you have to be also mature. That's another tip that I say, is that when you get into all of this, know that we're all just people at the end of the day. Your bosses, whoever you're listening to, they're all just people at the end of the day. They're struggling with the same pressures that you're struggling with, right?
Yes.
So where I'm going with this is that it's okay to feel like this is what you want. That's totally fine. This is what I want. No disrespect. You could pursue your goals the way you want to, but I can't keep pursuing my goals by following your ways.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So there was that, and I'm telling you, ever since that, do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So okay. That's it. And I'm gonna say, like, ever since I put my foot down and decided not to be a puppet or anything like that, because of clout, because of numbers, or because of money or whatever, like, I'm telling you, the pour out of blessings that God had over me, I knew that I was protected by God, because I was standing firm in His words, and I cut everybody off. And let me tell you, more opportunities came, and that's not me trying to be big-headed. I'm just saying.
No, this is her testifying.
Oh yeah, this is me testifying.
She testifying.
Oh yes, amen, honey. And I'm just telling you, like, God will use your life to be a testimony in somehow, shape, or form. And people has told me, oh, money talks in this industry, and I'm just like, money talks in the industry that you want it to talk. Other than that, I never spent a dime on what I do, and I don't mean to be boastful, but I say I made it pretty far without influencing anybody because of numbers and clouds and money. So at the end of the day, I say I'm accountable to God. So at the end of the day, I'm accountable to God. God knows if I was being a little. Oh, I almost cussed. I almost cussed. Okay, I'll just say real quick. Woo! Okay, I was gonna say, God knows if I was being a little bitch or not. That's what I'm gonna say. Okay, which is true. It's okay. God knows my vocabulary, but nothing scares Him, you know. But I guess that surround yourself with people who has the same values as you, because some other people, they have different ideas of what success should be for you, and they gonna put you in the wrong path.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and they don't care what that might look like. And I really love how you said, and I was gonna say, don't ever be like, boasting, girl, you testifying. No, because it's so powerful, because you have such a great story, and like you said, you are very successful in the way that you go about it, and it inspires other people that if I pave my own way, even though it might be hard, even though there might be tears in the background, you have peace of mind.
Yes,
like,
you have peace of mind.
Joy. Like, you feel more great, and you're helping others. Like, your testimony actually helped me, because there was a moment where I was struggling. Like, should I even be here? Like, I want to come out and do all these things and, make an impact of my community, but I'm not willing to compromise my values to get there.
Yes.
And it just shows like, I was like, well, if you did it, I know I can too, regardless of what it is. So that's very grateful. Like, and that's so awesome. And I'm grateful for that too as well. So thank you for that.
Thank you. I'm going to tell you guys something. So I probably never told you and our friend group. What's crazy is I used to pray that because the pressure was heavy and it was like, it was killing me on the inside, but I kept on trying to convince myself, no, Maiekayla, this is fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep doing what you're doing. But it wasn't sitting right. And I was like, so the thing is this, I was willing to take that risk even if I wasn't going to be blessed in my career. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So the time that I finally let go of that like my way, and I was like, no, this isn't sitting right. I'm letting go of these people. I'm letting go of this type of like lifestyle and stuff. I did it out of like my growth with God, and then I wasn't expecting like more success in my career, but then God did it. But there's something I was saying right before. Oh yeah. So what's crazy is that I was praying for like God send me like the right friend group, you know.
Oh wow.
And it's so crazy, especially in this industry, like because like some friends I don't like really saying what I do because it comes off wrong sometimes, or it sounds like, oh, Maiekayla's bragging or stuff like that, and then you have people who just talks about God, and they just Christians, but they don't submit or pursue His word, you know, or they're not God fearing. So I'm very grateful because I did pray, and it's so crazy because you guys came into the picture while I was praying, and then what's crazy is I was feeling something, but because of the position that I was in, like literally, you guys, I was voiceless. I was powerless. I couldn't talk about certain things, and it interfered because I moved with the way I move. Like it would just be off, you know. And I was trying so hard to keep what I was going through and feeling and experiencing in a certain industry silent. I was trying so hard to like blow it off or whatever, but it would make a difference. Like, but it's crazy because I felt a certain way, and our friend group felt a certain way too, because you were saying, oh, Maiekayla, like you actually inspired me and stuff like that. What's crazy is that I felt like we were all confirming something that we didn't want to say. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying whatever you're feeling, if you ever have to convince yourself otherwise, then it's probably not correct. So you're probably right about everything that your guts is saying.
Yeah.
And I say speak up about it because you're going to end up speaking up for a lot of other people.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
And look at our friend group. They're all like
blossoming.
They're
growing.
blossoming. I'm happy. So any last words you want to say, girl?
No,
That was a
I was
good
like,
talk.
this was a really good talk.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But yeah, you guys, I hope you guys, I wish everybody the best. It's not easy getting into entertainment. Like really, you are your own boss. And I just pray wisdom, protection, guidance. I pray for the right deals for you guys in Jesus' name, and the right friend group, and just the right people with good intentions. And I hope you guys do right for yourself. Stand firm. Surround yourself with people who has good values, because this world's crazy. You got other people preaching other things, and it starts getting into your head like, oh, maybe they're right. Maybe it's not always right. But other than that, you guys support Arbria and Azelia Clayton. They are doing their event at Ahern Hotel on October 19th. And this is, if you guys really want to network, you guys go to this event.
Yes.
All right, you guys. Thank you. Until next time.
Thank you, everyone.